Welcome back to a new video. So this is 3 different sessions. So this is my Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday sessions, and hit PRs on all 3 days, which is kind of surprising, frankly. But this was Tuesday, so I started out with some powers. It was odd because I missed 90 twice. But it wasn't like I couldn't do it. It was like I could have ran it forward or done something goofy with it. But I was like, this is 90. Like I should just be able to do powers with it, no matter really how I feel. Above 90, like 95 or 100, I kind of have to feel a little bit better to probably do it. 95 is probably kind of the limit of like power that I could do on like any particular day. But when I was missing 90 the couple times, I was like, all right, I just need to like try harder, essentially, just lock out, or the finish harder, just finish harder, and really just get my arms locked out above my head. And they went better. So I ended up doing a lot more reps than I was originally. I was thinking maybe 5 singles like I did last week with 85, but I guess if you count the misses, then it was really 7. But kind of a weird day, but I think it ended up helping me the next day, honestly, because it just gave me that practice of being aggressive in that turnover. And I definitely don't think next week I'm going to push up above that 90, just because it's like a good weight for me to practice. And I kind of have that Iranian power where I spread my feet out too wide, so I don't think I need to be. And honestly, too, like when I really push power snatches, I think it kind of messes me up because I get a little too loopy with the bar. So this is light enough where I can still focus on doing it correctly, and it's heavy enough to where I have to do it correctly. As you see, I'll just miss it if I don't. What you see here is the first of the PRs, so an overhead press PR. So I was able to do 105 in a really difficult fashion. Certainly not, hyper strict reps or whatever with that, but these were a lot obviously more strict because they're drop sets. So I did a couple doubles with 90 after. I don't think there's much more in the tank as far as a pressing PR because that took all of my energy, and you saw there I also missed on the first rep. But if I can continue to make that 90 to 100, or just essentially just keep doing 100, then eventually how that 100 looks now, hopefully I can get 105 to look, and then I can push above that. But frankly, that's been kind of my strategy, obviously, to do volume and the accessory work and whatnot. But it's just to kind of keep getting good at that heavy single or whatever that heavy weight is, which in my case it's 100. So quite happy with that, and happy that 100 is just normal weight. I mean, for a long time, my overhead press was really stagnant and struggled to go up, and getting to 100 was a really big deal. And getting to 102 was a big deal, and now it's just it's continuing to move up. And I think obviously the pressing volume has helped, but I think a lot of the accessory work has really carried over the tricep extensions, the pullovers, even the bench press maybe a little bit, but I haven't done it enough to really have an acute effect. But a lot of the arm accessories, the biceps, triceps, and the pullovers have been tremendously helpful. And obviously, like I said, the pressing. There, I missed a 120 push press, and then I came back and made it. I was kind of confused, but I just kind of got out in front of me a little bit, and I just got stuck, essentially. I wasn't going to be able to grind it out in any sort of fashion, but as you saw, with better technique, I was able to do it. And then here I actually did some, clean pulls, I guess, but I did it without straps because I was going to push deadlifts up. So this is, I don't actually know what kind of deadlift bar, but it is definitely a deadlift bar. And so I forget the kilos, but this is 184, I know. And then this is 535, or no, 545, because those are 25s on the outside. Then jumped right to 645, and I actually missed this rep because I had thumb tape on, and on the left side it actually started to slip off. So definitely need more training with the hook grip. But here is, I think, a pretty close attempt. You can see it starts to slip as I'm holding it at the top, but as I get better at it, then holding that weight at the top will get better. It's actually most I've pulled with a hook grip ever, so it's, I guess, a sense like a mini PR in that regard. Since that 635 I did a couple of weeks ago was, I think, the most I've done with the hook grip, or at least I don't think I've done anything more than 645 for sure. But it hurts really bad, and I was looking at my hands after because I was worried that something had been ripped on my thumbs or whatever. Because not necessarily that I was like, oh my gosh, like I broke my thumb or something, but more so like the calluses. I'm worried of like ripping a callus open because it is certainly not to my advantage if I were to do that. But I really thought when I did that deadlift, I was like, God, I'm gonna pay a consequence the next day as far as recovery. But I had a really weird snatch session and really training session in general. I felt like complete crud, like mentally was just like, wow, I'm going to lift like crap. I feel bad. And I just kept moving, and it was going so well that it was very odd. Like my body felt so much better than my mentals. And it wasn't like I was like angry or had a bad day. I was just like, I just feel so tired. And it's just like, I thought that mental fog that I had, I thought that was fatigue. And I was like, I'm just going to be struggling with 95 or whatever I was going to be the original plan. But once I did 90, I was like, I feel like I can do 100. And I think that's it's a hard disconnect to have sometimes, to where even if you mentally feel bad, if you're moving well, to know that it's okay to still push, and like your body is telling you that it's okay and that's why I like videoing, even if it wasn't for YouTube, because you can look at it and be like, it actually felt good. And you look at it and you're like, it actually looked pretty good too. And you can kind of positively pressure yourself into doing what I did here, some doubles with 110, which I was really not expecting at all. And it was kind of towards this 110 that I kind of more so snapped out of this mental fog. It was a very weird state, because I think it's just fatigue. And it's one of those tricky things, because I'll teach all day and then I'll get to the gym and I don't want to train. It's cold right now and I don't want to start training, I should say. I always want to train, but it's like that initial step of like, I got to warm up, I got to move. And it's like you're achy. And for me, it's like I'm tired because I just worked all day, and it's waiting for the caffeine to, kick in and all that. So there's a lot of things that get me to procrastinate when I go to the gym. Plus, it's also like, I know from like a exercise standpoint that if I go to work all day and I sit in a car for 30 minutes and I immediately start to train, I might not lift that well. If I sit for a little bit and let my body just kind of relax for a little bbit, as is evidenced by the fact that I do that most days, I'm going to lift better for the most part. But snatches, as you saw, doubles with 100, 2 of them, and then 2 at 110. They went fantastic. They were feeling really good. That aggressive turnover, that was really the big focus, was trying to feel my hook grip for as long as possible. But when I was extending, trying to really not just rip it up behind my head, but trying to turn over and aggressively push up as I'm going over. So just really trying to focus on that turnover and trying to make sure that I'm waiting long enough on the lift. And it was interesting, because it wasn't as if I was like, I'm super speedy or explosive on this day, but it was just like popping in the right position for all the reps, which is a really nice change of pace. So usually I'm fighting snatches tooth and nail. And then for clean jerks on this day, I did clean front squat jerk, and these were crazy good. And this is honestly really surprised, because last week I struggled with 140 or 145 or whatever. I think it was 147 and a half, and then I missed 145 and I was struggling. And then today I was just absolutely cooking. It was very bizarre. And this first 145 was not filling me with extreme confidence. You'll see here, definitely was out in front, not the best rep. And you see like it was a big fight to press it out above my head. And then did 145 again. So I guess the original plan for both snatch and clean jerks was do 4 doubles at a particular weight for the snatch, which was originally 95. And you saw there, I was able to push up quite a bit from that. And then with this, it was like, if I felt really good, to do maybe 3 or 4 singles at 145. But once I did that second one, I was like, I got to go up. And I really had to work hard to not put 155 immediately on the bar. And I'm really glad I didn't, because this 155 absolutely smoked it. I was so confused. And there I looked kind of annoyed, but it was more sarcastic. I was like, oh, I have to go up now. I mean, I don't usually do jerks where I catch it, I'm like, wow, that was easy, especially, with 150 plus. And then this is, I'm like 99% sure it's a lifetime PR. Certainly I've never made it look that easy. And part of me wanted to go up to 160, but I knew that with how difficult, not really difficult, but with the strain that I felt on the front squat of the clean front squat jerk, I knew that 160 probably was in theory possible, but it could have also like just been a really difficult clean, and then it just would have been it. And the 155 was already way above what I was planning, the 145. And like I had already hit the 150. It was like already like a perfect day. And I knew that like, this isn't the biggest day of the week. Friday or Saturday will be. And then some secret weightlifting training that we don't need to talk about there, where accidentally did some bench press by accident. Totally didn't mean to do that. It happens. But bench press there. It's actually the third time, so I'm actually up to I'm a 3-time bench presser this year. I don't know how consistent I'll be with it because that 120 didn't feel the best on my shoulder. It didn't hurt anything, but it was like a little achy, and that's usually what happens. But this is a session I did at the house today. So that was 140 push press, which snatch push press, I should say. I wish it was a push press, but I haven't done that in a while. And it was really interesting because it was really cold, but I had a lot better amount of energy today than I had yesterday. So I don't really know what that was. I guess maybe because it was like 7 o'clock, so I really waited a while before I went out. You see there, I was able to jerk 140 and had this crazy idea. It's like, I'm going to do 160. And so you can kind of see, I kind of tried it, but wasn't really close. But then did a couple snatch pulls and a snatch deadlift, which this was the last of the PRs of the day, where I was able to do a snatch deadlift with 235. I'm almost positive that I did 225 was my previous best, or it was like right at 500 pounds, and it was an existentially difficult pull. And then you see there with that 235, it was pretty unproblematic, which was very confusing. I was 100% ready for it to be an absolutely difficult lift, but I guess part of me knew it was going to go well because I jumped from 180 to that 235, just threw the kilos and the clip on, and I don't know. It was weird. Like, I honestly don't know why I was able to pull that, but I guess, that's what happens when you get stronger. But it's weird with lifts like that for me, even though it's a pull, and I'm good at pulls because I don't do anything for snatch grip deadlifts. Like, I don't practice it or anything. So to randomly be able to do that and it to feel good is always surprising to me. But 3 really good days of training. I don't know how well Friday will go. What might happen tomorrow is that it will be a day like last Friday where I don't really feel that great and I don't push that hard. And then Saturday ends up being the heavy day of the week. I'll see. I would like to, do the heavy day tomorrow, but I also don't want to, push beyond what is possible on that day and have a really bad day and then not have the energy to lift Saturday. So we'll see. But I'm fine with that being kind of like a lighter day, or at least like, going up to like 105 or 110 for a snatch and then 140 or whatever for a clean and jerk, and doing some accessories and just kind of relaxing on that day, or at least making it an easier day. And then Saturday kind of going absolutely berserk, or at least, giving myself the opportunity to do so. So I guess that's kind of another little trinket of advice is you don't always have the ability to be like, all right, I'm going to go crazy and go lift super heavy this day and always have it go well. But it's important to give yourselves the opportunities to have a productive day, or at least have the ability of like, all right, if I, have a really good week of training, if everything's on line, then I might be able to go heavy on this day. But if I don't, and that's where I struggle with, is like, if I don't, it's okay. I can, and I have the ability to, and it's all lining up, but it's okay if I don't. And that's where it's really hard, where you're like, I should feel good in this day, and you start lifting, you're like, I don't, and then not trying to bang your head onto the bar, figuratively, I guess maybe literally if you're, that much of an idiot, but understanding that if it's not there on a day, you can push it to another day, especially in a juncture of training like I am now, where I'm just training not for any specific date, just in general. But as far as like squat progressions and stuff, I'll definitely be thinking about squatting tomorrow. But if I feel bad, I'll push the squats till Saturday, and then just continue to push them at least a little bit like I have. I'll probably continue with the 5x3s and then see how the heavy singles go. It's interesting how like the 230 squats were a struggle, and I failed it at least once, maybe twice, and then like the reps I like weren't there, but then all my weightlifting stuff has gone up. So I think that kind of shift is naturally happening in my programming, where it's pushing more to the classics and less to the normal strength work, and it might be getting close to where I can peak and then kind of reset. We'll see though. I'm not trying to hold myself too hard if I don't lift well tomorrow, because I know I can be a bit of a knucklehead when it comes to that. So tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday will be a heavy day of the week, and then we'll kind of mix and match what other stuff I want to do on those other days. But yeah, so I guess some extra blank space at the end with kind of how I think through training during the week, or at least how I try to think through, because I'll say all that and then lift like a Nimrod tomorrow. But I like to say I think through things, but I don't always follow the plan. But with that being said, that's it for this one, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.